Welcome back to Shadows Over Loathing. I'm moving my way through the Dauphine house looking for padlocks. I just noticed that that is the actual entrance, which means that I don't think I ever went through this door because I assumed that that was the door I came in through. Never mind. The basement of this swamp house is predictably completely flooded. You'll need some kind of breathing apparatus if you want to go down there. Oh, that's the second time that's come up. What the heck am I missing there? Where do I think I would need to go to find breathing apparatus? The Gatorman Fortress? I honestly don't know what makes the most sense. I think I need to make a note of this so that I don't forget. Just in case I forget, I reached the character limit, so it's the submarine. But yeah, I will keep that. That's fine. That note is perfectly logical. Close enough, at least. Sticking with it. Ralphie, why on earth do you keep flushing this fish zester down the commode? Have you been possessed by some otherworldly or demonic force? No, Dad. I just thought it would be a funny place to hide it. But hey, now I can actually properly flush it, I guess. I don't entirely even know. Ah, the steaming blood. Right, here's where we drop the frozen key. A nice warm bath causes the ice to relax. Is that what you call it? And it drops the key with a grateful sigh. This key is still cold to the touch, which makes you wish you'd held it under the water a little longer. Too late for that, though. The Burt Worth's finest tooth wax. Oh, maybe we have had that before. Stip-ticked pencil. Wow, why was that so hard? And a gauze pad. Again, these are things we've had. Nothing really new there. Nothing left in the medical cabinet except memories. Medicinal memories. Ah, that's better. You lose effects. Oh, the sprained elbow. Which just hurt, but I don't think did anything. And twitchy, it's hard to see where you're going when you keep looking over your shoulder like that. Minus the -1 Moxie's now gone. Wow, I'm glad to have actually resolved that. I didn't even think that would be a thing. If I go outside, do I still have the radio? Oh, I do. Clarence, I'm so grateful that our family has never suffered from supernatural curses, serial murder, demonic corruption, or plague. I agree, dear. We certainly have been fortunate and doubtless will remain so. How about out in the garage here? Oh my, Clarence. Why are you lying on the floor under your workbench? Are you all right? Were you attacked by a burglar or an axe murderer? Calm down, Agnes. I'm fine. I'm just practicing changing the oil in our car. So the gag with this entire house is that nothing bad actually happened here, which is absolutely phenomenal. The tool chest contains 1 tool and 1 key, which I guess also counts as a tool, albeit an extremely specific one, so two tools then. Handsaw. Oh geez, is that blood all over the... Oh, no, it's just rust. Again. Just a flipperoo there. What a twist. Never mind. Muscle plus 4 physical damage and causes bleeding. Quite a deadly weapon, which makes sense. And the padlock key, rusty. If rust were poetry, this key would be an ode to age and neglect. Is that 9? 9. And we have 1 key, a rusty key, which I do not recall where that would be needed. The nightstand. Yep, we've dealt with that one. The random bedroom. Golden arm. I don't think that one... I guess the gag here is that it's supposed to feel like, you know, there was actually a ghost for once, but then it just is a ghost story. But it was kind of weird because it was like the second thing I encountered. Up in the attic, there was nothing up here, I don't think. So again, is this some sort of cursed pirate treasure? Nope, no curses, no anything. Everyone died of natural causes. Nothing bad ever happened here. It's like the most pleasant, nice house there is. This gag is actually getting funnier the longer it goes, like exponentially. I think this is like one of my favorite areas of the game all of a sudden. Scolding angrily, for goodness sake, Agnes, you're obsessed with taping things to the back of paintings. Yeah. We've gone through it. Padlock, probably rusted? Not. That's very surprising. Where in this house is a padlock I've not yet used? There we go. Rusty. There it is. You open the cabinet door and examine the stack of fine bone china. Wait, bone china? Perhaps human bone china? I thought it was going to be like bona fide china. Oh no, the brand mark on the bottom is a pretty well-known company, so probably not. Anyway, you find a really fancy hat. The fine china helmet. It's entirely possible that this is a gravy boat that you're just using upside down, but don't let that stop you. +4 to magical weapon attacks. It is slightly better. It's slightly better, but I would have to reapply like all of the everything that I don't even know if I have everything that I would need. All the tapes and the linings and what have you. I do not know. I'm still missing one key. And I know where the lock is, but I do not know where the key is. I am thinking it's probably downstairs then. That would make the most sense, unless that's intended to be like an entirely separate thing that you would come back to. I guess I'm going to do one last sweep of the house, but I think that's... No, I think that's the idea, is that I probably need the breathing apparatus. Well then, I perhaps have to like come back here? That's a little bit anticlimactic to have pushed through to that amount only for it to just kind of end at nothing. Let's go to the Largemouth Bass and Sons. I genuinely don't remember what their deal was whatsoever. The shotgun-toting gator hunter hollers at you from behind the trees. You again? I told you to get. Didn't I give you enough money for the bus? Here. Oh, well, thanks. Sweet. I'll pocket that and put it in my massive stash. I do not need it, but I will welcome it. State your business. Business. Didn't even look. Pleasure was the next one. I didn't even look beyond that. Do what you must then, but for your own good, don't hang around. Largemouth Bass and Sons is cursed of late, stranger. Sales are down, children gone missing. The bosses have stopped speaking to one another. I'd quit, but God help me, I love the damn fish. As long as you have passion in your life and in your work, that's great. What goes on at this place? Why don't the bosses speak to one another? What do you think happened to the kids? If you ask me, that's what I just did. Hell, they ran off. This life isn't for everyone, and Tom and Kathy, they never had the makings of a largemouth bass, deboner or reboner. Deboner or reboner? That's what we do here. Mr. Tracy debones the bass and Mr. Chapman rebones him. Only then are the fish ready for sale at the market. Are you saying you take out the fish's bones and then put them back in? It's tradition. For generations, a Chapman has deboned the bass and Tracy rebones them. That's the exact opposite of what he just said. That unique process is what gives our bass its distinctive tang. Tracy debones, Chapman debones. Yep, you guys don't even know your own operation here. What goes on at this place? We fish largemouth bass and most of us are sons. And why don't the bosses speak to one another? Between you, me, and 3,600 largemouth bass, Mr. Chapman and Tracy haven't been on speaking terms since Mr. Chapman was snubbed at the Aquademy Awards a few years back. They tolerate each other only because they both perform a function vital to the business. I'm trying to think of like best production value, best makeup and hairstylings and stuff. Makeup and herring stylings? Come on, there's got to be heaps of fish puns to go along with the Aquademy Awards. Best director. Best pike. Nah, I don't know. I'm guaranteed there's a lot of potential there. Apparently, I'm not very good at doing it on the spot. The deboning and reboning. Yeah, I'll get going then. You've explained it in full, I suppose. This sign identifies these waters as a site of historic importance. This pool is the birthplace of Largest Mouth Luke, a bass present at the signing of the Declaration of Dependence on August 2nd, 1792. He returned to his home waters to die, but his body was never found. I'll keep an eye out, just in case. Times are tough here. The guard eyes you suspiciously. Oh, but doesn't actually want to talk. We've had a tough year. The guard seems a little nervous. Are the shotguns keeping you out or something else in? Who cares? I'm going inside. Might as well rummage, make myself at home. No invite necessary. I got it covered. empty to magnify the misfortune of my stolen daughter. Any idea who did this? I have my suspicions, yes? When did this happen? 3 nights ago. I'm still in shock. I can't even muster the strength to close the safe. I can do it for you, it's not that hard. Would you? Sure. Bless you. You're so welcome. This grizzled mariner must hate being stuck behind a desk. Do you hate being stuck behind a desk? Excuse me, I make 6 figures a year. Back like 100 years ago? Good God, man. And mind your manners, you're addressing Adam Tracy, Chief Deboning Officer of Largemouth Bass & Sons. Are you here about Kathy? I saw some posters about missing children, did I? That must have been forever ago. That's right, 3 nights ago. Kathy disappeared along with all her clothes and possessions, the contents of that safe there, and the company truck. Oh, and the Chapman kid. So they just definitely ran off together, right? Sounds like they may have run away from home. I'll excuse the remark, as you don't know my Kathy, but suffice it to say that's impossible. Kathy loves largemouth bass almost as much as assuming preordained roles in a multi-generational family business. No, Kathy would not simply leave home. There's a much simpler explanation. Occam's gator. It's like Occam's razor. The correct answer is usually the simplest one, so Occam's gator. A monstrous gatorman, centuries old, 10 feet tall if he's an inch, with scales as blue as the deepest ocean. He has 2 tails as sharp as razors, and he's not afraid to shave you. His appetites are insatiable. He'll strike at night and gobble up our fish, guns, tax returns, whatever. And now I fear my Kathy. I don't know what we did to provoke his ire, but that beast has bullied and bothered our business since my grandfather was in toddler pants. I sometimes think the swamp itself has summoned him up to be our tormentor. You think Occam's gator ate Kathy. If Occam's ate Kathy, aren't we too late? Occam's gator sounds made up. There's nothing made up about a giant blue gator man who eats guns. One of our guards actually saw Occam's. He even took a shot at him, but conventional weapons have no effect. Are you saying you haven't seen Occam's gator? I've seen the destruction he's wrought. I've certainly seen that. Well, you think he ate Kathy? You have to understand, for decades Occam's gator has been the sole author of this business's misfortune. Could he eat a child? Absolutely. That's his MO. Or monstrous operandi. Instead of modus. Aren't we too late then? Not necessarily. Occam's only handicap is his glacially slow digestion. Go ask Sylvester, a guard of ours. He was swallowed up by Occam's, but by stripping off in the belly and greasing his body in Occam's own fat, he was able to slither up and out of Occam's jaws while the great beast slept. Okay, where can I find Sylvester? I don't know. We had to terminate him for attempting to unionize. Is there a finder's fee? Is there a finder's fee if I finders her? Find her. I hardly know her. 300 meat and my grandfather's fishing rod. But I'm running the show, all right? Not Chapman. I know he's got a missing boy too, but you just can't involve a reboner in an operation like this. They're far too emotional. If you're dealing with me, you keep him out of it. What's so special about this rod? What's special about it? It can catch things that your scientists would say are impossible to find in water. How about that? I could use that. My fishing rods do not accomplish much. So it doesn't catch fish. Yes, fish, but also impossible things. Sure, man. Good. Now, Peter, our guard by the front gate, was the last to see Occam's gator in the sickening flesh. Peter chased him off our property in a revolting little hamlet, but dared not enter himself. I'll mark it on your map. I'm convinced that's where you'll find Occam's. And inside Occam's, Kathy, the Gatorman hamlet. Now bring her home, you hear me? What do you do here? As I've said before, I'm the chief deboning officer. My team and I debone the largemouth bass, after which it is passed over to my colleague across the way for reboning. Okay, I'll stop asking. I've got it covered. You're not close enough to read this. Yes, I am. Aquatomy of fresh and saltwater game fish. Certificate of nomination for award. Be it known that Adam Tracy was nominated for the Aquatomy Award of Merit for Outstanding Achievement, Best Deboning of Bass. And this really twisted up fish mounted on the wall. Through the knife of the deboner doth still shape largemouth bass. In the world through our action, there are legion who do not believe, and wouldst tear down thy work. The Book of Garrett. I don't know what that's all about. It's a mess through there. Oh, I don't mind. Does he mean like it's a mess hall? I don't mean it's messy. I'm saying that's the room where we have meals. Of course, it's that type of mess. I thought they only really used that term in the armed forces. You don't consider fishing to be a part of the armed forces? What do you think we use to hold the rods? Arms. That's right. The public is welcome to visit the Tracy family's mess hall, if they'll pardon the mess, so it is also messy. The bass thawing in the sink, and each of the drawers. The refrigerator hums with quiet menace. Maybe it's the motor? The only item inside is a sardine salad sandwich in a cardboard box. The box is labeled "Adams do not eat, do eat." The sandwich smacks of something foul and deeply wrong, as if the food had rotted inside to punish your minor transgression. It reminds you of the story of your friend Eve, who ate a forbidden window display sandwich and was cast out of the Garden of Eden. Like Adam and Eve. He's Adam, Eve, Garden of Eden. The original sandwich. Like Eve, you have tasted a forbidden sandwich and must face the consequences. Like Eve, the Eve we are all most familiar with. It didn't count as food. That is totally its own thing. I maybe can deal with it at the medicinal cabinet. I probably would want to be rid of that. The sign says, take a bottle of bass oil. I keep wanting to say base. Take a bottle. Why, it's glued to the table. Bottles, crate, the whole thing. You now notice the reverse of the sign, which says, if you can, well, take the sign then. You got the item annoying sign. Just sell it, if you can. And then take the bottles as well. Huzzah! You break the bonds of the glue with the satisfying crate of bass oil. From Largemouth Bass and Sons, a crate of Largemouth Bass oil. And Sons. Take it to the speakeasy. I wouldn't have expected that. This door is locked, making this room even more disappointing. Fishing cats are slow to trust. The cat ignores your attempts to befriend it. Only true loyalty to the fisherman's cause will win it over. Well, I'll try my best to stay honorable and true and on the straight, narrow path of fishing. Looking for something. What's back here? Crew quarters. Off limits. You live here. Where the fish live, we live. Can I go inside? No, that's a space for the Tracy family, like our crypt. Can I go to that? You'd better not. Only the Tracy family is allowed in the private quarters. You need to find another entrance, or think about marrying in. Well, this... Maybe I need to satisfy the cat, and then I would be granted passage, or maybe I need to go talk to the Chapman half of this whole operation, admiring the fish, like a little bit. Kind of, barely, not really. It's not the most exciting. Alphonse is busy. How are the fish today? Large, thank you for asking. What do you know about Occam's gator? Oh, that's fake. It is. Yeah, that's a legend, an old bass wife's tale. Sometimes things go missing or the business had a run of bad luck, and folks want a deeper explanation for it. But I can tell you that nobody here has ever laid eyes on any giant gator man. The bosses can't even agree on what he's supposed to look like. So, Occam's gator didn't kidnap these kids? I really doubt it. Your boss says you saw him. Didn't you ever tell a boss what they wanted to hear? There's gators in these parts, alright? I have to scare them off the property on almost a daily basis. But I've never seen any sort of Occam's gator. No, sir. Occam's gator sounds pretty scary. As do all fairy tales. Doesn't make them any more real. Fair enough. About Occam's gator, yes, my favorite fictional character. Go on. We've hit him up with that. What's this about? A guard who got eaten by Occam's gator? Sylvester didn't get eaten by anybody. I told him to say that because it was the only excuse the boss would accept for a 2-hour lunch break. But what can you tell me about Largest Mouth Luke? I've seen him, you know. Yeah? He's not dead, like they say, so this one you do believe in. How long can a largemouth bass live? Normally only 20 years or so, but Largemouth Luke is a special fish. Maybe someday I'll see him again. The guard sighs, and you get the sense you shouldn't pry further. He's in love. I imagine. Oh, he's so sad. The viscous puddle reflects a gloomy face. Talk to the puddle or the man? Puddle, please. Hello, sir. It's a puddle. Should we talk to him now? What's the matter with you? She's left me. Who? Amphibious truck. Oh, so not a person? No, I'm more interested in amphibious trucks. What happened to your truck? Our truck. It's the company truck. We used to take the fish to the market. A couple nights ago, I forgot to fill her up before bed, and that must have really ticked her off, because the next morning she was gone. No, nothing. Are you suggesting this truck is sentient? It's funny, I wouldn't have thought so, but I can't see any other explanation for it running off the way it has. Could it have anything to do with the missing kids? Tom and Kathy? You'd have to talk to Mr. Chapman or Mr. Tracy. Maybe they took the truck? I don't know. Seems like a stretch. When did the children go missing? Same day as the truck, but probably a coincidence. Fine then, what's with the puddle here? It's the gas I never gave her that night. It's here now in our special place waiting for her to come home. Is it working? Obviously you can see that it is not. How far could someone have gone in the truck? With the gas left in her, couldn't have gone fewer than 100 miles. 100 miles, okay. No, 100. Sorry, 100 is fisherman's lingo. Means 11. Missing truck, huh? That's a same. I imagine 100 is not a real phrase. She'll be back. She has to come back. She'll run out of gas otherwise. And then where will she be? Good luck with the truck. I gotta go. Yeah, we'll leave that alone. This guard seems happy to be here, but skeptical of you. Oh, so I don't think I can go deal with that in the background. I can only go to this one other hut. I hope you're not planning on sticking that rod in there. Largemouth Bass & Sons have the exclusive license to these waters. Is there any way I can fish here? Maybe with the grandfather's rod? No! It's the only fishing rights. Flex and say, fishing might makes fishing right. That attitude might get you places at smallmouth bass and nephews, but we run things differently here. Okay, fine. There's something fishy going on up here. Oh, another kitty. A silly kitty's doing crazy things. Fishermen's cats are a touchy sort and regard unproven outsiders with the highest suspicion. The cat avoids your touch. You get the sense that only true loyalty to the fisherman's cause will overcome its suspicion of you. So again, I probably have to resolve this whole quest first. What about all these buckets? The chum bucket is inscribed, champagne for my real chums, real pain for my sham chums. The bucket is secured to the floor. Those are decorative. And the chum inside? It's the very first patch of chum ever made by Largemouth Bass & Sons back in the summer of 1803. It reminds us of our humble beginnings. Can I have it? No. A chum bucket is inscribed, a stranger is just a chum you haven't met yet. And chum pain for my real chums, real pain for my chum chums. That one's a little more esoteric. The lantern, I guess I probably can't interact with that one. Lo, with the reboning knife of righteousness, has a complete bass been forged. The Book of Charis. Surely a fisherman yearns for a glorious death at sea, not to wind up behind a desk. Hi there, I wonder, do you ever wish you'd had a glorious death at sea? Are we gonna have like this weird mirror image conversation, like palette swapped, basically the same thing though? Ho-ho, Minius, I guess he bones, he debones, that makes sense that they're like opposite people. Many a sea creature have tried to give me one pal, but before they could get their teeth in me, I've reboned them 6 ways to Sontag. He spits a wad of chewing tobacco out the door. No spittoon, just sailed it clear out the front door. Guy Chapman, Chief Reboning Officer, Largemouth Bass & Sons. And you must be Grammy, the one I hear has thrown in his lot with this woeful deboner next door. I guess it matters which one I talk to first. Oh, surprised I know your name. Well, the largemouth bass have ears. I'd like to talk about your son. I'm not sure I want to discuss my son with a confederate of Kathy Tracy, that Jezebel of a deboner's daughter. She's a delinquent sorceress who never cared a Walt Whittam for what we do here with largemouth bass, and she led my Tom into the belly of Occam's gator. Yeah, I've heard of him. Chapman's cheap darkened to the murky hue of humpback anglerfish. As long as there has been a largemouth bass and sons, there's been an Occam's gator, to our great misfortune. I'd venture that there's no creature of land nor sea quite so terrible. 12 feet tall he is, red as a furnace, with smoke billowing from his nostrils. He and his rapacious appetites are a plague on our business. He'll eat everything we've got. Largemouth bass. Everything. Mostly the bass, though. It keeps me up at night, wondering what me did to deserve him. It is a sin against the land to both debone and rebone fish. Perhaps. But damn it, that's what gives our bass its zing. You're being a little sexist, don't you think? In what way? Not remotely. I'm not saying anything about her gender at all. I'm only saying that she may have gotten my boy eaten by a gator man. But when you throw the word Jezebel around, it's a little loaded. I haven't heard anyone called it in quite some time. Perhaps infinite time. So I wasn't aware how insulting it could potentially be. Is it? Well, I didn't mean anything by it. I'm willing to change. What a kind heart. Glad he's open to new ideas. But you have to be patient with me, all right? I'm old-fashioned, and I can't keep up with these new ideas your generation has. Gender, penicillin. How is Kathy responsible? Well, the arrogance of youth. Cassie Tracy never thought she had anything to fear from Occam's gator. She didn't respect him. Several times I caught her attempting to summon the beast by shouting his name 3 times in a mirror or directly into the mouth of a bass. It was always going to end with her in Occam's belly. I just didn't think my Tom would be fool enough to go along with it. Do you think Tom could have run away on his own? Absolutely not. Tom's a 3rd-generation bass boy, proud and true. Why, just last month he said, "I'm excited about my future in reboning largemouth bass, Dad." Does that sound like the words of a boy with 1 foot out the door? No, there's a truer, simpler explanation. The siren song of Kathy Tracy, who lures good men into the bellies of gators. That's all I wanted to ask about your son. That's all I wanted to answer. What do you do here? I'm the chief reboning officer here at Largemouth Bass and Sons. I'm glad I talked to the deboner first. Like my father was before me, and etc. It's a wonderful life, a good family life. He's got nothing else he wants to talk about then. I will go wandering around into your various doors then. This must be the mess, right? I imagined it would be on the other side, actually. It is, where we proudly serve reboned fish, just the way we like it. I don't want to see you slipping any bones out of that fish, you hear? You definitely won't see that. I can't make that promise. I'll say you definitely won't. It's a mess hall back there. And what's back here? Your quarters? And how would you know that? That's where Miss Tracy has his. Maybe the two of you are more similar than you'd like to admit. Back off, Freud. Can I go inside? Into our family's private quarters. I'd sooner let a dogfish loose in my socks. Okay, sorry. Is that something you do? Rarely. But now and again, it has come up. What lies beyond that door is only for fishermen. What is it? Fish. Can I fish here? Oh, he will not allow me. It guards its waters closely. Well then, I think I can go visit some of these guys again. She'll come back. Good luck with it. I'll leave it at that. Those are mirror images, and I guess these kind of mostly are too. Now that I've talked to your buddy, oh, their hats are the same color. I ate your sandwich, or can I marry into your family? No, I'm afraid we're all spoken for. Nothing personal. It's just that in the largemouth bass business, marriages are arranged from a very young age. It's political. You understand. I ate your sandwich? No, you didn't. The one in the refrigerator is a decoy. He chuckles. Nobody's ever found the real thing. I'll be on my way to go hunt for your sandwich that is probably in the fridge. it appears to not be. It felt worth following up on, though. I'm glad we had that talk. I do want to talk to this guy one more time, see what else he's got. He has told me about these things. Have you opened up new dialogues over here? Nope, we've talked about his son. That is all handled. As I'm wrapping up the episode here, I've got to do a bit of wandering. Now that's a sad sight. An old house, abandoned long ago to the swamp, half sunk in the wet muck that passes in these parts for roads. Might have been a nice family lived in that house one time. Now you look at it, it's a shame is all. Jeepers creepers, there's a bandit shot dead on the floor, right in the foyer. Must have come here looking for treasure. From the look of it, he wasn't the only one. Oh, the stink of death hangs heavy in this place, alright. This feels like a full-on text adventure. I know that's kind of what the game is, but I mean like traditional text adventure. Holy gosh, sitting room is littered with bodies. 3 more bandits and the entire defensive line of the Ocean City football team. Obvious what happened. Bandits and football players got sold the same line on a buried treasure by some shifty rumor monger. Both group came here searching for their fortune, ran into each other, and everyone got shot into pieces. Wherever the double dealer who sold them the tip is now, he'd better be smiling. Oh, he's here in the kitchen, also shot by a bandit and a linebacker, looks like. But he got him too. Poor pathetic souls. Now the bedroom, the finish line. And here's who made it. Quarterback and the wide receiver. You'd figure they'd have been on the same side, but they shot each other in the back simultaneously. They shot each other's backs. And there's nothing in here but a single jewelry box on a nightstand. Ain't that funny? All that death for a couple of trinkets. Nothing rots a person like greed. Leave the box. No, I'm taking it. A small jewelry box, which will come in handy if you need to move some jewelry from place to place and you don't want to wear it. I've had a jewelry box before then. Hold back the tears and continue where you were going. Weep openly and continue where you were going. I will open this. You dump out the jewelry box's contents, which are so exciting that you forget about the box itself. The amethyst armband. This bejeweled armband improves blood flow by periodically squeezing your bicep. They get used to it after a while. You get used to it. 9 HP, pretty good. Hot pot metal ring. A ring made from the remnants of a fondue pot that flew too close to the sun. Fondue deluge applies 1 additional fire. And I did just want to run into here to use the medical thing. I lost the effect to Sinwich. There was no need to carry that around for any like long extended period. I figured it would be best to be rid of it. I want to give Dan the booze or the ingredient I was given. Bass oil. I don't think people are going to like it very much, but you're the boss. I guess we'll see what it adds some other time when I go about mixing a drink. Oh, and I had it in my mind. I had one other stop I wanted to make. Largemouth. Ooh, okay. There's a couple dates, so I'm going to save that because I thought it was just one. If there's more than one, then who knows what kind of crazy things are going to spin out of there, so I'm leaving it there. Pitch me some episode titles, please. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.